What we're going to be doing today is how to plant in a rock. I personally like rocks. I've used it as decorative features and in landscapes. And one of them is to create a planter. Some are natural occurring. In this case, it's not. I got a big, large rock. This is a lava rock, and it's quite dangerous to work with because it's very sharp. But combination of chiseling and drilling, I got to this shape. Now, you have to have a fairly flat bottom so it doesn't rock too much. But that's what this is, and there's a big enough planting space that I carved out. So what I'm thinking is to put Chinese elm. Next important thing is selection of the material. Now, most of you that have been following me on the video, you know that I am in a very hot climate. Sometimes we'll get to 100 and 100 plus. Well, actually, sometimes 110 plus. So when planting in a rock, you have to select hardy plant material. Favorites is the Chinese elm. Now, Chinese elm can happen in all different shapes, sizes, and you can manipulate into just about anything you want. On this one, I thought maybe that this upright, straight upright, might look good in relation to the overall rock. Grouping, it's a grouping of what, 5 elms or so, was started about 4 or 5 years ago from a seed bed. So how did I get tall ones and short ones? Well, what you do is you let some grow really big real fast, then you get the tall one and then you cut. And then others you keep them tightly trimmed and then you keep them small. So although all these are the same age, they're different size. Another trick of the trade. Although on this rock, I think your side and my side either could be the front, but I kind of like this side as the front. So I'm going to use this. So for now, you have the back side so that I can position the trees in relation to the rock, and then I'll spin it. This is just a rough fit. It needs to go down. But now you have the front, and I'm thinking of making the presentation like that. What I need to do is to shave a little bit of the root ball so that it fits down in better. But you notice that most of the time I'm using materials that are well prepared, so that to take raw materials and put it in is okay, but I like to prep my materials years in advance so these projects can happen almost instantaneously. Kind of work the roots loose so that it fits in nicely, and ta-da! I think because these are prepared ahead of time, I don't have to break up the root ball, then I don't have the instability problem. You know, once you start using smaller pieces, then you have to learn how to tie them down individually, which is a lot of hassle. But this way, it's ready to go. Just get that tilt just right by adding the soil in here, and when I get that done, I'll show you again. Actually, that side looks good, and this side looks good. So this is one of those that it looks good from. It's so much easier if the material is prepped ahead of time. The repacking of the soil is simple because basically the sides were straight. But the main thing is that it's very stable. So I'll go ahead and finish up. put some moss on it, and I'll get to the next. What I thought was the back side. This I thought was the back side. And this being the front side. Actually, I don't know which is better. They both look pretty good. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be trimming. Although these trees have basic shape, I need to fine tune it. So I'll go ahead and do that and show you the finished results. I hope you enjoy watching this process. There's a good likelihood that you may not see this again, because it was more of a commission project. And although if it does come back for a trim or something like that, I'll shoot the video. But visualize how every one of these is going to mature into more individual trees, especially on the back side. These are very young yet, so they will require a little bit more effort. This big one here actually is a double trunk, and it already has a pretty decent shape. It needs more individual attention to the branches. That will come this coming spring. I'm shooting this in late fall, so these leaves will fall most likely. And in the spring, with the fresh soil and warming, it's going to take off. So it needs to be trim, and you get better. But this is a lava rock that I carved out, Chinese elm. It's going to be a good combination. The only gripe I have is because of the rock. My hands are getting raw. I should have used gloves when I touched it. But other than that, this is really a great project. So as I wrap up this project for today, I think it's going to be a great looking finished bonsai, I think in a year or two. I feel real happy about how everything came out. You just never know until you put it together. But hey, this one worked out fine. There's a few things I might want to do, but I'm going to wait till spring. Is like this one here. We might want to move it over and these pulled out. So these, right now they're jammed together, but that's also because of the materials were crowded. But if we could pull these out, something like that, either with wire or stick, it will give it more fullness. But even without that, now that it's in an open space, we can probably manage to make it fuller looking. But all in all, I'm quite happy that there's a good looking, my first back and my original front. And I think either side could be viewed as being the nice side. So this is Hiro Matsuda saying goodbye with this project. I'll show you some more of the other stuff.